Yo, what's up? This is Vince with Reverb Sounds, and I'm going to go over my new favorite way to make techno kicks. So we just put out the Afterlife Techno Essentials bundle, and that includes the Oblivion Techno Sample Pack, the Elysium Techno Serum Presets Pack, and the Underworld Techno Kick Builder Pack. And that is the pack we're going to be going over today. It's so useful and so insane, and it's definitely been my favorite way to make kicks lately. So typically how people would make techno kicks is they would grab a kick, any sort of kick, and they would layer it, and then they would just probably smash it, add a bunch of reverb, add a bunch of delay, low pass it, so they get this like big techno-y rumble. That way is good, but sometimes it's really inconsistent and it takes a long time to like perfect and dial it in. So what I did was I made a bunch of kicks that I really liked, and then through multiband splitting and a bunch of processing, I basically extracted different layers from those kicks. So we have mid punch kicks, low punch kicks, low rumbles, top kicks, reverb gates, and then I have a full folder of final kick exports. So this way, to me, is a lot more time efficient, and you just get a lot more consistent and controlled result, especially in the low end. So let's jump right into it. We have these mid punch kicks. And this is exactly what it is. It's the mid punch of the kick. It covers part of the transient. It has a little bit of low end, but not too much, but it has a bunch of character, and that's what we want. So let's find one we like. I really like this one. So this is a quarter note long. We're just going to loop this quarter note and press play. And you can already hear like where we're going with the kick, but we need to add the rest of the layers. I'm going to skip the low punch and we're going to go right to the low rumble. So I'm just going to group this. We'll call this kick group. And I'm going to throw a limiter on the group just so we're not clipping. We'll make a new audio track and let's go back to our sample pack. And we're going to listen to these rumbles. These are all rumbles extracted from final kicks that I've made. The reason why I like to do that is because I know they're in the exact frequency they need to be in. And since they're audio files, it's a lot easier than like making a punch of a kick and then throwing a ton of reverb and compression on at the end and hoping that the rumble is just exactly what you want. This way you can swap in different rumbles and just get the exact low end that you want. So let's drag in this one, rumble 007. Like right away, boom, perfect kick. Like that sounds so good. So if we turn the low end rumble off, like right, like that sounds so good right off the bat. We can take it a little bit further. So this is where I like to start because this is like the basis of the kick. So let's make a new track and let's go into the low punch kicks. You don't always have to use these, but sometimes I like to use these to add a bit more like low end punch, especially like in this section of the kick. So let's get one like this. And we don't have to use the whole thing. We can just drag it in. And sometimes I don't like to put it in the beginning because you can see sometimes in the beginning of these techno kicks, it's just a transient, like just a high-end transient, and it's not like this low-end waveform like a 909 kick would be. So I like to like delay this low-end punch a bit. And if we turn it off, still sounds good, but I don't know, there's something about that. I've been doing this more and I really like the way it sounds. It just has like a bit more boom to me. So let's start naming these. We'll call this mid punch, low rumble, low punch. And then if you're still not satisfied or you just want to add a little bit more character to your kick, you can add a top kick, which this might really help your kick just like stand out in the mix, especially in that high end, especially if you're listening on your phone or your laptop speakers. So let's just drag this in. I don't really like that one. Let's just try some others. Not liking any of those. That one's not bad if we mix it in. Let's keep an eye on that 21. All right. I really like that, 25. So it kind of gives you this top end that you're not getting from the rest of the kick. And by layering this in rather than relying on like one kick sample and a ton of processing, again, makes the process a lot more consistent, a lot more time efficient, honestly. Like that's sounding really good. And then the last section of this is this reverb gate, and this will help add a lot of character and groove. So I'm gonna start by turning this track down a bunch. Let's rename this top kick, reverb gate. I'm gonna turn this track down a bunch and let's just listen to some of these. These sound so good. I love the way these came out. And this is basically, I mean, you just throw it on and it adds like a rhythm and a character to your kick. So it's not just this like low end. And that's also the beauty of using audio is instead of relying on this massive processing chain, is you can change each individual part of the kick. You can turn it up, turn it down without affecting the rest of it. Maybe we'll want to add another reverb gate. Maybe we want to low pass this. And to me, that just sounds so good. So if we solo each individual part again. That is all the different parts that create this kick as a whole. That sounds so good. So something else I might do too is I've been adding drum bus on just about everything. I think it sounds so good. Let's just listen to it. So that's my final kick right there. So what I would normally do after this is make a new track, make sure my ins and outs are selected, select external in, do kick group, record enable, and I'm just gonna record this kick. And there you go. That is my final kick right there. And I mean, it looks really good. It sounds really good. Then what I would typically do is just collapse this, turn the kick group off, and now this is my kick that I'm gonna use to arrange my track. And if I need to go in and make any changes, I can just open that kick group up, make changes. Like maybe I want the reverb gates turned off for one of the kicks. Yeah, so after that, I have my kick and maybe I'll just like lay out a little kick pattern, like a little double kick back here. I can loop that. We can dive into the Oblivion Techno pack because there's actually some good drum loops in here. So these background kick loops, we can add this. And if we play both of these together, let's put a limiter on the master. If we play both of these together, it just adds a nice groove to your track. There's a lot more that we can add too. So if we turn all these off, still sounds great, but it's sort of lacking that groove and that interesting pattern that these kick perk loops create. So let's just quick try layering some hats so you can hear what it sounds like in context with something else. So we'll have some closed hat loops, and then we have some open hat loops. These sound so good. I love how these came out. Turn these down a bit. And that is how I make my techno kicks now. It sounds so good. I'll even make hard techno kicks with this pack too and just process it a bit differently. It just makes the task of making a techno kick so much easier and so much more consistent, which is all I'm really striving for. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want this pack, head on over to raveyardsounds.com. This is the Afterlife Techno Essentials bundle, which includes the Underworld Kick Builder, the Oblivion Sample Pack, and the Elysium Serum Presets Pack. It's on our site for sale. It absolutely rips. Go check it out now. Thanks, guys. Later.